Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Live SEO Support, your absolute favorite SEO live stream where we answer your SEO questions and everyone leaves happy. That's how it works. How are you doing today, Nick?
SEO. I'm
Yeah, that's
doing
right.
doing
Nick
good.
gets it.
Doing good. Um, I feel like my jet lag has finally left my body and I'm back to normal for the most part.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
How
All
are
right,
you
guys.
doing, Chris?
I'm doing all right. I went to Great Clips yesterday and got a haircut, and they didn't absolutely completely F my shit up, so that's good.
Last time I
Um,
tried that, I decided I wasn't going to do it again. And then I took my son for his first haircut there, and they butchered that too. So it's fine.
yeah, actually, I went to the same one last time, and it was, bad. And
Yeah.
I walked up to this barber shop this time, and right on the door was like no walk-ins, and I was like, well, and I
Well,
just didn't feel like waiting, so I just went over to Great Clips, and luckily there was a new person there, and yeah, they did a pretty good job. Not too bad, not too
nice.
shabby, so
Okay,
that's
yeah, it's
good.
looking pretty good. Looking pretty good from where I'm watching.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. It's gonna help
I
my
bet.
self-confidence a bit. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll go and get into things. We got a bunch of questions lined up. We got a bunch of audits lined up. We got a bunch of everything lined up. So everyone, if you are watching live, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. Hi, Sun, and hi, Fizza. Both hi to both of you. And yeah, any questions at all, just drop them in the chat and we will answer you here live. Um, let's go ahead and start with, let me see if we have any MLB audits we need to do. Yep, there's at least one. Okay, so I think we only got one MLB audit, so we'll do that. And then if we have time at the end, we can do more. Here is it for you, Nick. And our MLB, our managed link building service, actually doing really good. We're at like an all-time high of clients right now, so guess we're doing something good. So yeah, if anyone's not aware, managed link buildings are a completely done for you service. You just give us your SEO goals essentially and give us a monthly link building budget. Then our team makes all the decisions and delivers you a report with a bunch of links in it each month. Yeah,
I would argue that it's our flagship product.
yeah, it's definitely
Um,
our most robust product. It's yeah, the most work goes into it, the most knowledge, the most yeah, it's the most comprehensive product we have for sure. All right, let's
comprehensive,
see
that's the
what we
word.
got here. All right, did you get the site pulled up, Nick?
Yeah, I'm
I'll get a
there.
screenshot for everyone else that's watching. Oops. All right. Well, here, let me see if he said anything first. Nope, he did not say anything. So I'll just say site audit. How can we describe this one? Maybe lost like 40% traffic drop. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go and audit this site, client center managed link building service. So we're building links for them, but we got to see what else is going on here, and maybe we can help them out on the other side of things. So just taking a quick look at it, looks like DR38, 216 referring domains. So actually his link authority looks pretty good. For that amount of referring domains to have DR38, it's actually pretty nice. We'll look into things a little bit further, of course, but unless they've used some kind of things that are used to just kind of boost your authority without actually being good links, then that's always possible, but we'll see. So I guess we can take a quick look at the off page and then we can just get over to the on page and content type stuff. Just since he's in our managed link building service. Let me see how long he's been with us. Always like to check that. Okay, so it looks like he just started his second month. He's at our minimum budget spend. So we basically completed one round of links for him so far. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look a little bit further. Backlinks. What are you looking at, Nick?
Just the site overall, 302 index pages in Google,
Okay.
foreign site, entrance niche.
So out of those 220 links or so, looks like about 100 of them would be approaching what we would call quality links, which is actually pretty good. Usually you don't have like a 50% ratio of what we would consider good links when you see the RD count. But it's going to be kind of hard to tell. You know, a lot of the stuff is foreign language. The whole site's foreign language. It's in German, so. But some English stuff in here. But yeah, gonna be kind of hard to say like relevance and stuff. But actually, it looks like a lot of kind of like guest posting, kind of like editorial style links in here. So actually, the link profile looks pretty
I'd
good.
say it looks all right, and anchors look okay.
Yeah, it's hard to really tell since, you know, it's not German's not the language we speak, of course. But just taking a quick look, I would say that it actually looks pretty good. A lot better than a lot of the sites we get in MLB. A lot of the sites we get in our managed link building service, they come to us because they've been building really crappy links and they haven't had any success. But yeah, these guys seem to have some good links in here. All right, and let me just see best buy links. Maybe one or two overused anchors, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, nothing too bad.
And also looks like they have a strong homepage. You know, they've got maybe 2 pages on the site. Actually, that's actually just one page. They have one page on the site that's getting kind of heavy on links, but it looks like it's a location page in their biggest location, so that could be pretty natural. Let's see that page real quick. Yeah, I wouldn't really say that's an issue or anything. So anyway, the off page I'd say looks pretty good. So I guess we can go ahead and look at the site itself, and it's going to be pretty hard to audit this as it's not our language, but we'll try our best. Like Nick said, it's got how many URLs indexed? Like 300?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, 330. Get it to translate it for me. Okay, so that's finance kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about these permalinks, or like if you look at the first drop down, I mean, maybe with Translate it's doing something kind of funny, but I don't understand what those pages would specifically be targeting in the SERPs.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
You know, I mean, they're pretty generic permalinks.
Yeah, it might just be a translation, or I hope it's a translation.
Right.
Yeah, it's just really hard to audit something like this.
Yeah. Not much content per page, really.
Have you seen any like blog? Have you found a blog?
No, let's see here. I don't see a blog. However, not everything is translating. But no, I don't think there is a blog.
Okay. I wonder what their
Looking in the footer
330
and
pages
header.
are.
Let's go down the rabbit hole.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna just take a look and see when their site really got hit. See if what we think could be the cause of that. Actually, so you know they might have. Well, you know it looks like they got a boost from the Ahrefs update, of course, like everyone did. It's This makes things even harder because of hrefs right now.
Yeah.
Then they had another keyword data updates, but they definitely looks like they've lost more. Most sites don't look like this right now. If anything, they just kind of go up a little bit. I'm also going to look in our notes real quick because we do an off-page audit when we onboard the client. I want to see if there's anything in there that we just skipped because we're trying to do things real fast. Let's see here.
Yeah, overall, I mean, just look. Oh,
They do have a
what's
301
this?
redirect going on. Yeah, but nothing really too crazy that we're seeing in the that we saw in the application anyway. They do have a 301.
Interesting.
Huh? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, they've got like these sort of blog roll style articles that I found at the bottom of specific pages. So it looks like instead of having a blog roll where all of this exists, they have them as like subcategory pages, where they're using the bottom of like specific articles to dish out these related articles. But they're like blog roll style articles without the blog.
Hmm.
Kind of a weird way to do that. Not sure I like it due to lack of crawlability, but that's at a glance.
Looking, a lot of these pages look like they could be like the same page.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, they're all done up the exact same way. Walls of
Yeah.
text.
So, so there's like basically like a paragraph at the top and then just like not much there. And then it has like the same few sections at the bottom, like on every single page. Which I wouldn't do that. You can have like the same like call to action at the bottom and the same like footer, but I wouldn't have like the same like 5 sections at the bottom. So I guess the one thing that we can say about the site is try to get some more content on these pages. But again, it's really hard to figure out even what you're trying to target with this stuff. Like I don't really see. I guess they have different kinds of things they do. Are they at least doing some on page? They're doing some on page. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like we're kind of like spinning our wheels here. It's too hard to audit this. But yeah, not really seeing much for blog. I guess we are. I'm not really seeing much for like interlinking, of course, because there's no real blog.
Right.
You see stuff that links to like their, book an appointment or whatever for their company, for their services. But you don't really see, I'm not really seeing because there's no like blog or anything, or at least that we're seeing. There's real no like interlinking here, no good like contextual interlinking. And yeah, other than that, I feel like off page here is not the problem. You've got you got a good amount of links before you started using our services that are actually look pretty good. Your off page looks pretty solid, to be honest. I know you got a 301 redirect in there, so I wouldn't really worry about your off page. You're paying us to build you links every month, so we got those links trickling in. I think the problem is going to be something on the site. There's something about your site here that Google isn't quite too happy about. I guess the last thing we can do, I don't even know if this will help because it's all going to be in German, but I just kind of want to see what kind of keywords he lost. That'll be the last thing I checked. Is there anything you want to say before we kind of get out of here?
I just feel like there's something to do, especially with like the permalinks and the stuff that you're targeting. It's just incredibly broad. So maybe look at what your competitors are doing, check, what your competitors are doing all the way from permalinks down the page via the content that you're dishing out on for every page. And then, this entire blog situation. It's like these articles, whatever they are, these articles at the bottom of each of these pages, I'm not seeing any interlinking here, and they all look like product pages. They don't look like blog rule art informational style articles. So just a few things to look at there, but I agree, it's not an off-page issue, I don't think.
Yeah. So sorry, we're not going to really be able to give you much better information than that, but it's, this is auditing a site that's completely in German is pretty tough. But yeah, hopefully that's given you some kind of direction. And if you got any follow-up questions or whatever, you can always ask something more specific, and maybe we can help you with that rather than trying to fish around and trying to understand this website in a language that we don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Google Translate only helps so much, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Let's get some questions here. Sorry, guys, keep you waiting in the chat. Let's see. Hello, sir. My Fiverr account has been restricted today as I didn't verify my account. Hi, Carl. Thank you. I didn't know about it earlier. Now it is more than 15 days. How can I remember? This is not a question for us, man. You're gonna have to contact Fiverr support. We don't know about that.
Just contact Fiverr support and go down the rabbit hole. Worst comes to worst, you're gonna have to start a new account.
Hey, George. How's it going, man? Yeah, we got some more cool interviews coming up as well. We got a podcast with Julian Goldie coming up on Friday. Then we've got a podcast with Corey, the Topical Authority Master, as well as Charles Float on the way as well. So some good podcasts in the pipeline coming direct. We know that Google processes search queries with Google BERT. Do you happen to know what case Google BERT processes web pages content with? Case or uncase? This is important for entity. I have no idea, man.
No clue.
Do you know, Nick?
No.
Yeah, no, I actually saw an article recently where I can't even remember what it was. Someone had posted an article in our groups saying something, they're doing something with BERT. I don't know if they had updated or they're just using something. I have no idea. But yeah, this is not something that we worry about too much. Maybe it'll be something that we worry about if something big changes or whatever. But for right now, I don't think. I'm not going to tell you not to worry about it. I'm not going to tell you, what's important or whatever. But, for most people, just make good content and make good backlinks and, do decent on-page SEO and you're going to do pretty good. But if you want to dive in even deeper and you're more like a Corey, a big brain, and you want to really understand things and get everything super, super optimized or whatever, then maybe you can do some more, but it might not be necessary. Bunch of questions we can't have really answered today. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, they're trying to stump us today.
Okay, so we got this one. He says, some haters keep pointing toxic link to my site. Yeah, recently my traffic has dropped. Yeah, so, that happens. Negative SEO does happen. Some people like to disavow links very proactively. And what I mean by that is like they will maybe like update their disavow file with Google like every month, especially if they're getting actively like negative SEO'd. We usually do not do that. I mean, not usually, we don't do that. The only time we would really consider that is if we're starting to experience some pretty large traffic drops, and also if we were like 100% sure that the cause was the backlinks. And it's very hard to be 100% sure. So basically we would have wanted to try a bunch of other stuff first, and if we can't really figure it out or nothing's really working, then we might start considering the disavow or whatever. But yeah, it just kind of depends what you want to do. So, the one other warning I'll give is that, if you don't know exactly what you're looking at, like it's hard to tell people to disavow, especially basically it's hard to tell people to do option one, because what if they start to disavow proactively, but they actually don't really know that much about backlinks, and what if these backlinks aren't exactly even that toxic, and what if it's not negative SEO and it's just kind of natural spam that, that stuff that people get. You can end up like disavowing some stuff that actually helps you rather than hurting you, and the problem could just be something completely unrelated. So just something to think about. When in doubt, you could always come to a professional like us. You could apply to our managed link building service, and we could audit the website's off-page SEO and give you our game plan, what we'd want to do to build links moving forward, if we recommend a disavow or not, stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of up to you, really. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Um, yeah, not really. I mean, other than, for us, typically we're going to hold off um, completely on disavow, and we say it regularly, last resort type situation. However, like Chris said, some people do like to disavow proactively, and the main reason that I don't like to is because a lot of times spam won't just, register as pure spam, and sometimes it actually helps your rankings, oddly enough. So, typically I'm not going to mess with something. And then on top of that, Google's pretty good at ignoring blatant spam where the anchors are over optimized, and it's coming from all low authority stuff. So long as you're insulating your site using good or backlinking best practices, you're pretty well insulated against a lot of negative SEO attacks. So just some things to consider there.
All right. How long time will I see some traffic improve if I attend the managed link building? All right, so yeah, if they're asking if they enroll in our managed link building service, which is our done for you link building service, you just set a monthly budget and give us your goals, and we handle all the link building. So basically, how long will it take to see results? And so honestly, all of our MLB reps, our customer service reps, are trained to not answer this question. or to answer it very vaguely. And the reason why is because we don't like lying to clients. We don't like lying to clients and telling them something that's not true. So a lot of SEO services, SEO agencies, link building services, they will tell you, oh yeah, you're going to get results very quickly, 1 month, 3 months, whatever, you're going to get results. And that's just simply not the case. Especially, not only are we doing SEO and everything is decided by Google, but we're only building links, and that's only part of the SEO equation. All the other stuff is like your content, your on-page, your keyword research, your niche, all that. All of this stuff is so massively important. If you're matching search intent or not, all of these things. If you're basically doing all that stuff wrong, and then you get backlinks from us, you might not see results in a year. You could just be spinning the wheels on the car. You're adding like jet fuel to a car, but it has no wheels on it, essentially, right? So everything has to be done well, and everything needs to be done together to get results. So I guess that being said, what we normally advise people on is we tell them that link building is an ongoing process. You don't plan to spend like money for 3 months on links and then stop. We advise clients to plan to budget for 6 months to 1 year. And then further than that, we can also say, as far as the backlinks part of the equation goes, a good thing to do is to look at your competitors. So you can say, look at your top 3 competitors, whatever, the people that you want to be ranking above or around the same level as. How many referring domains do they have? So how many good backlinks do they have? You can look at this number, then you can take your budget that you're going to be giving us, and we can kind of divide it out and say like, okay, well, if you're building this many links a month, it'll take you this amount of time to kind of get the same amount of links as your competitors. But even that is not a very good way to measure things, because like I said before, the quality of links matter. So depending on how good their links are, you might need more than them, or if their links aren't very good, you might need a lot less than them. And then you still have to consider all the stuff I talked about before, like your content, your on-page, your yada, 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 all that stuff. So in essence, not something we can really answer truthfully, and we choose to not answer it because we feel like our clients respect our ability to not lie to them and not try to oversell them just to get you to sign up or whatever, right? Yeah, anything to
Important
add on that, Nick?
learning point. If somebody is guaranteeing that they're going to automatically get you rankings and they haven't even looked at your asset, they're
Next.
full of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, SEO is not something that's very simple. Like there's a lot of variables that go into ranking in the SERPs. That goes with any asset. Like you've got to audit it, then you've got to see. But I will say this, if you are doing things properly, page is, you've got content flowing regularly, it's all optimized, you're targeting specific SERPs,
I think she has a
and then
brand
you've
new
got,
site as well.
well, regardless, and then you've got solid backlinking going on, then if you do join the managed link building program, you should essentially get a boost, right there within month number one, if everything is going properly and you're already
Well,
shooting up in the SERPs.
I'll add a little bit more than month number one because usually we finish most of the links around the month number one mark.
Yeah,
So
sure.
give them some time to kick in and stuff. I would say by the end of like month number two, we like to see if it's basically at the end of like month number two or like part way into month number two and we haven't really seen much movement, then we're kind of like, this, something's not quite right here. Then we might kind of, start trying to give some advice if we see some major problems with the site, even though it's not really the managed link building program.
Yeah,
But
but I'm
yeah,
saying if if they're already moving up in the SERPs, then what we're
yeah.
going to be adding is high quality stuff, so it's going to keep that trajectory going.
And then
Yeah.
also, like I mentioned, I'm pretty sure the person asked the question has a new website, and you can just expect when you have a new website, you can just expect everything to take longer. And of
Yeah.
course, the backlinks that we're building, of course, will help speed things up, the whole ranking process up. But it's going to take longer versus a site that's already has some backlinks and has been ranking for a year already, and then we're just jumping in and starting to build more, right? That one would move a lot quicker, respond a lot quicker, versus a completely new site. It might take, depending on what your budget is, it might take months before you start seeing any kind of movement at all, and even
Yeah.
then, it's definitely more of a slow process. Yeah, so hopefully that helps, and hopefully that doesn't scare you off. All right. Let's see. I think there's multiple parts to this one, so let me get those. Okay, so the question is, the anchor text use is branded better than URL anchor text. I just bought your niche edits for a new website. Okay, so my favorite type of anchor text to use is branded. It's the most common type of anchor text that you'll get naturally when you're building like kind of like editorial type links, right? People like to mention the name of the company that they're linking to when they link to the company, especially their homepage, right? But it can be really any page. That being said, URL anchors is probably my number two choice for my favorite type of natural anchor text. But really, you can look at these things as you don't need to say, oh, is one better than the other. You want to use both of them. You want to use branded anchor text. You want to use URL anchor text. You want to use generic anchor text, which can even just be stuff like click here or get more information. You want to use stuff like topical anchor text without being a keyword anchor. So for example, if you had a website about insurance, you could do a kind of long tail anchor that's something like and see more of their insurance options. So it has insurance in the anchor, but it's not really a keyword anyone's trying to rank for, right? So it's not as aggressive, just kind of add some of this topical kind of relevance to things. You can even do stuff like, you can get like a branded anchor. So if your website's name was like insurance, or let's say Betty's Insurance, so you could do like your anchor could be like visit Betty's Insurance today or visit bettysinsurance.com today or something like that. These are all like just kind of very natural anchors. They're not aggressive. You're getting your brand name in there. You're getting some kind of information about your niche in there. But yeah, I like branded the better, but I wouldn't say they're better than URL anchors. It's just they're both good. And depending on how many links you bought, You could get a mix. You could do some branded, some URL anchors. But if you just bought one link, it doesn't really matter too much. You can just do a URL anchor or a branded anchor. I'd probably go with branded just because I like it more, but it'd really be up to you. And I think I've talked to you, or I think we've talked to you about this before, Sun, but I would highly recommend you check out our managed link building service. Because even if we're building links for you, so the links that we're building are going to be good, of course, but you're still making a lot of these decisions, right? Like target URLs, anchor text, type of link to use, the power level of the link to use. And as you're a very inexperienced link builder, it could be good to let us handle it and to get your site off the ground essentially. And then after you watch us build for a while, maybe you can kind of learn from just how we send you our monthly reports. You can see what we're building, what pages we're targeting, what anchor text we're using. And then if you decide you want to do things yourself later on, you can get out of the MLB program and just buy links a la carte or build them yourself or something like that. But yeah, anything to add on that, Nick?
Just that, like Chris said, the term which is best to use in this, there isn't one. But what we like to preach here, and we've preached over a long period of time, is best practices are, for longevity, as far as a project goes that you're looking to do SEO on, has to do with diversifying. So diversifying where your links come from, what anchors you use, etc. And so, like Chris said, if you're buying one or two links here and there, then it's probably not that big a deal. But if you're ordering like 10, 20 links at a time, and you want to use just natural anchors to the homepage, then use a blend of branded, naked URL, and then randoms, this site, click here, etc. But diversifying is going to be your best insulation against volatility in the SERPs.
And you just added at the end, if later I will change my URL to my brand name. So, I still don't think it matters that much, because it's natural when if you're gonna have to 301 redirect your old domain to your new domain, and it's completely natural for that website to have, its own branded anchors to go over. And I don't think they're really counted less or anything, just as a different brand. Google understands how 301s and brand changes work, and so I don't think it's something you need to worry about too much. But if you are super worried about it, you could just build, URL anchors, miscellaneous anchors, topical anchors. But I wouldn't worry about it. I would still probably build some branded as well, or just wait till the domain name change and just build them there instead. But it just depends how far out in the future. I guess that is going to depend on the rest of your company that you're working for, if it's a bigger operation, so you might not really know the answer to that. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Let us know if you got any other questions. Let's go back over to YouTube. You are welcome, Nick. Digital Marketing Micro says rankings dropped after October 22 and now no rankings. I think that was the spam content update in October 22.
I'm looking it up now.
Well, here, let me put it up as a
spam update.
So, oops, wrong one. So the rankings dropped after October 22 and now no rankings. So October 22 was the spam update. I think Nick had just verified. I'm going to go ahead and look again as well. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and put a little something on the screen for you to see. So this is what pops up in Ahrefs when you look at in October 2022. Spam updates, target sites that don't follow webmaster guidelines. So there was actually, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was actually two spam updates. There was one in October, and then there was one in December. And the first spam update was actually dealing with like content spam. I think that's when people were really starting to spam AI content or just low quality content or something. But anyway, so the first spam update seemed to target low quality content sites that just had a ton of content they thought was no good or just not worthy of ranking. Doesn't mean that all content needs to be good, but if a site has like a higher level of it, they seem to get hit harder. And then the later spam update, which was in December, was like a link spam update. So yeah, if I were you, I would look at the quality of the content on your website, and I would audit that and try to improve it as much as possible. And that can be a lot of things, that's matching search intent. That's actually writing a well-structured article using, heading tags. That's the actual content itself being helpful, not a bunch of fluff, not just repeating things over and over, like actually having good content. It's doing good interlinking, showing Google that you're, how everything's connected on your website, that you're actually a serious website. You could even look into stuff like EAT as well, but I don't think this one really had much to do with EAT, but couldn't hurt. Anything not on that, Nick?
No, no, not without seeing the site.
Cool. All right. Nick, I'm just going to answer this one real quickly because we answered this on
Yeah.
a previous stream. Does Parasite SEO still work? Absolutely. Go look at any big affiliate keyword and you're going to see Parasite SEO all over the place on every single big affiliate keyword that you look up. And we're going to have a cool podcast coming up soon with Charles Float. We're going to talk about Parasite SEO, so definitely stay tuned for that. Zachary says, "Hey guys, love the show. I enrolled my first site in MLB a few weeks ago. Looking forward to the future." Awesome, man.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to MLB and glad you're enjoying the content. Let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the show.
All right, let's see. Can you safely add as many backlinks as you want? So, two answers. First answer is for most people, I'm just going to go ahead and say no. And then the second answer is if you know what you're doing, then yes. So if you're really following link building best practices, you understand the concepts of link diversity, anchor text diversity, target URL diversity, and you are actually building quality links and you're not just trying to get as many as you want and basically, which would essentially be just you spamming your website, then you absolutely can add as many links as you want. I will put one little caveat on that though, which is that you should probably look at other sites in your niche and see what's kind of like acceptable. Like basically like how many links do your competitors have and make sure you don't completely blow that completely out of the water. A lot of the times you'll see stuff like a low competition like local website, right? And their competitors all have like 20 referring domains or something. And they've got like 2,000 referring domains and you're like, oh my God, man, like this, like Google understands that this is not normal. Like Joe's carpet cleaning in the middle of nowhere, Texas is not going to get 2,000 referring domains in most cases, unless, they start a blog for whatever. Maybe they're an avid blogger and they really blow that out. But it's always good to kind of just look at things, make sure you're kind of blending into your surroundings. But yeah, on the flip side, if you're not doing things naturally, then of course Google's gonna understand what's going on and be angry at you and then probably give you a little spanking. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah, so when you're asking this question, try and imagine, what can happen naturally, and imagine that, it's baked into Google's algorithm. So like in local, yeah, typically you're going to want to follow those guidelines, but there are exceptions here and there. Like for example, if you've seen like what was that one
I don't know if he is local, by
taxidermist?
the way.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. What
Okay.
imagine if or that taxidermist that made that one viral commercial where he's like popping up with different animals. Anyhow, it went viral. And so, like, it is possible for small mom and pop shops to go viral using advertising campaigns that span outside of the SERPs. And then there's, for bigger companies, it's more easy for them to accumulate backlinks in that fashion too. But what is hard to emulate is the diversification of that backlink profile, because they're not just getting hit with like countless, 1,000 guest posts in one month. It's going to be a mix. Where do these anchors come from? How diversified is the anchor profile, etc. And so, if you're thinking about what can occur naturally. It'll give you a better idea of how you can get away with, higher link velocity in 1 month. And if you want to check out, some ways that you can do that, I outlined a good amount of it in my case study that we've got on sirlinksalot.co, because
The
I like
affiliate
to
case
get,
study.
yeah, the affiliate case study. I like to get very aggressive with some campaigns, especially if it's like a large national or international ranking asset.
Cool. Yeah, definitely go check out that case study. You can just look up Sir Links a Lot case studies, and it's the affiliate case study. Show how to do like a 301 and kind of emulate a business takeover and some social buzz and just a bunch of backlinks coming in at one time.
Yeah, I think I did 700 backlinks or so first month.
Yeah, but most of those come from the 301. So it's not like building 700 new backlinks, but it is 700 new links hitting a new domain, right? Because they're all coming from that 301, plus a bunch of new stuff being built simultaneously. But yeah, definitely check it out. Some good stuff there. Good case study. All right. How do you guys feel about sites doing a 301 while in our managed link building service? I have 3 different domains in the same niche, intending to 301 one of them to my money site that's in MLB in a couple months. First of all, I want to say I don't think we've ever had a live stream where so many people have mentioned they're in our managed link building service.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on today, but glad you guys are all here. I'm glad you guys have signed on to MLB, and yeah, hope you're getting some good value out of it. But yeah, so as far as you doing anything that's link building, 301 redirects we consider link building because new links coming to the website. We don't prefer it that you do it while in MLB. But and the reason why is because it kind of skews, basically how we're analyzing things, and it just makes us redo everything that we're basing our information off of, essentially. Especially if you don't tell us about it. If you don't tell us about it, then it's like, that's the worst case. But I'm not saying don't do the 301. You would need to tell our team. We'd really want you to let us know. Tell your MLB rep what's going on, so we can get it in the notes so that we understand what's happening when your site's rankings start to spike. If you do the 301 correctly and Google's happy about it. So yeah, I'm not saying don't to do it. But it will kind of like mess our analysis up a bit, but it's not the end of the world. If anything, I would say if you want to do it, you should probably do it. And then we will adjust, and we will just have to be kind of, things will have to be a bit volatile for a bit, and the team will adjust, and eventually it'll go back to kind of a more predictable landscape. Yeah, anything to say about that, Nick?
Yeah, typically there's 2 people or 2 archetypes that use managed link building. It's going to be the newer person that isn't too confident in their link building skills, or it's going to be somebody who's really blown out their business and they're looking to automate link building, with the idea that it's all being done properly. So for either of these people, if you're asking this question, then it's you've offloaded your link building to somebody. Keep them in the loop as close as possible. If you're newer, then go ahead and forward us that 301 domain so that we can audit it and tell you, we can probably give you an idea of whether it's a safe 301 to use, because a lot of people think they buy something that's really high quality. It's got over-optimized anchors, tragic history, any number of things that can actually tank your rankings, right? So, it might not be a bad idea to at least pass it over for that. And then, like Chris said, if you're keeping us out of the loop and then just doing it, then yeah, it's going to skew what we're doing as well. But so long as you picked something that's very clean, that can be used as a 301, I don't see a huge issue.
Okay. So next we've got kind of an interesting one. So I'll pass you the website. It's not an audit really. Let's just read this first. Hey mate, can you check this domain and see what is wrong with it? It's indexed, but not appearing in Google search results. So it's only showing when you do like site colon and then put the site in,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not showing in search results. And then
It's been a week.
so the articles are also showing, but I guess if you look for the articles directly, you won't find them. And it's only been 1 week. Yeah. So before I say anything about the 1 week, I guess we can go ahead and look at the website. Or I guess like we can go ahead and say, it's only been 1 week, man. Give
Yeah.
it some time.
Yeah, especially if
Things.
it's a new site, things don't just automatically pop up, that's the quote sandbox phase, etc. Let's see what we got here.
So yeah, looks like you got about 73 pages indexed. And it's all in a foreign language, so of course, gonna be.
Yeah. So when was this site?
Well, I got your homepage to show up in search results.
I'm guessing it's just a new. Yeah, so it looks like it was registered about 10 days ago, if I'm looking at this properly. So it was like an expired domain that's been revived. And now it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I
7,
got
8, 9,
I got
10
another one of your articles
articles.
I got another article to show up in search results too.
Yeah, man, you're just
So
getting
yeah, I mean,
started,
yeah.
That's it. It's gonna take, more than likely it's gonna take at least a few months of
Yeah, if it's been a few
doing
months and you
things.
don't see they're not popping in search results at all, then maybe, worry about it. But I wouldn't worry about it at all right now. And like I said, I got your homepage to pop up and I just went ahead and I tested one random inner page and I got it to pop up at the in search results as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just keep going. Don't worry about it. Even if things aren't showing up in search results, just give it some time. It's probably an old expired domain, like Nick said, and it takes a little bit of time for Google to adjust everything. All right, let's see. Digital Marketing Micro says, thank you. Your channel is very useful for beginners. Glad you enjoy it, man. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Or else we got a bunch here that people asked in our group as well that we got to get to. I think this might be a follow-up from the same person. Can you tell us how to find a good expired domain, what to look before purchasing the domain, and what to do after setting up the website on an expired domain? And perfect, boom, handing this off to Nick, and I'm going to get some more water. So yeah.
Sure. So yeah, ways to find expired domains. You can use tools like Register Compass, Spamzilla to comb massive amounts of data on expired or auction age domains that are available or coming up for availability. Things you want to look at. So, typically you're going to have a large list of domains. You're going to want to look at general metrics that you can kind of quantify ideas about how spammy they are, etc. And the only way to really learn this is to comb massive amounts of domains and then just kind of get an eye for it. So, things that we can use would be like Ahrefs DR, domain authority, trust flow, citation flow from Majestic. And all of these things combined are going to be good indicators of the health of the websites that you're kind of combing through. And then, personally here, we use Ahrefs more than any other tool because it does have a high level of quality when it comes to the crawlability and data that it's given you. So in Ahrefs, then once you've got a list of domains that seem suitable, you'll be able to go in there, start off by kind of seeing when it dropped out of the SERPs, if it ever had any kind of movement, etc. Looking at things like anchor density, the type of backlinks that we're hitting it, And then, kind of coming up with a story, based on the quality of everything that you're looking at. Um, Other things that you can look at is you can go to whois.com and see, the last time it was registered, when it was registered first, a kind of idea about the age of the domain itself. And then you can go to archive.org and you can actually look at, what the website did over the history of time. So with all those things combined, you can kind of come up with different ideas. And just to keep it real simple, if you're not using something that scrapes massive amounts of domains that are available, you can also keep things really simple when you first start off. Like I used to just go every day when I first started, and I'd get on GoDaddy auctions, and I would just go down the list of whatever's ending soonest, and I would pop those into Ahrefs, and I would just start combing, looking at data sets, et cetera. And if you need a little bit more help, we've got articles and I think other videos on how to utilize a tool like Ahrefs to really like dig in and dive deep into the back end of a domain. And once you get used to doing that, you can start combing domains really, really quickly. But all of those things, are what you want to look at whenever you're choosing a domain for the purpose of repurposing it and building a money site out of it, or 301, etc.
All right. I agree with whatever Nick said.
Nice.
All right. All right. I'm working with a new law firm. Their site is like 6 months old. They're ranking decently for a few key terms, but aside from digital PR, good links. Should I kickstart their link profile with Whitespart / Local or that sort of service, or just spend a couple days of building a top 30 or so manually? Related, do I need at client domain email address to set up some of the main citation links, or can I use my own email address? Thanks, guys, and screw the haters. The chit chat is fine. Yeah, we like the chit chat.
Nice.
We like a little chit chat. Well, so their site is 6 months old, and you're talking about just now starting to start some citations.
Yeah.
I would hope that they have their citations already done. So basically, citations are not like a normal backlink. It's not like something like an editorial link, which would be something like a niche edit or a guest post or PR links. These are the links that really like show Google that your site's an authority on something, that you're trusted by other people. These are very different from something like a citation. The citation is more like, you build a new website, you have a local service, you just do your citations, you get them done, and then you never look at them ever again. And you don't need to build more to do better. You build enough, and then you're just done with it. If they don't have their top 30 citations, absolutely build them. But if they've already got a bunch of citations done, and then you're thinking, do I need to build more of them? Then absolutely not. You can just start doing other stuff like guest posting, link insertions, more PR link building, some Haro, any stuff, stuff like this, like actual good contextual links from actual websites where people are endorsing your company and service, rather than citations, which is something anyone can go sign up and build, right? Is there anything else we missed here? Oh, the email address. I don't think it's just, you can just use whatever email address that's the main email for the client. I don't think that any of the citation service care what the email address is, as long as it's whatever the company uses to get emails at. But I could be wrong on that. Not a big local guy, so I don't do a ton of citations myself. But I don't think there's any kind of requirement for a domain email address. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah, in regards to using Whitespart or Bright Local, I would recommend maybe comparing their prices to like our prices for citations.
But we also don't do some of like the top, like the big ones.
Yeah.
We do the easier ones that don't require a ton of like back and forth to authenticate or whatever.
Yeah.
So there would be a couple, but I don't think any of these services are necessarily worth it. I would do those yourself and then come buy buy the rest from us because
Yeah.
they're way cheaper.
Yeah, personally, I mean, those are like venture capital backed, not to be an asshole, but soulless kind of corporation types that are upcharging, things that you can buy elsewhere, like us, at an
Hmm.
extreme discount. And then, in relevance to, or just spend a couple of days building the top 30, I mean, that depends how much is your time worth? Because this is going to take quite a bit of time. It's a relatively cheap thing that you can get outsourced. So, that's completely up to you. But I know, if it's in my mindset, like there's zero chance that I'm going to be out there building citations to an asset, especially as an agency owner, et
Yeah.
cetera. There's just so much other stuff that you can be doing, for
Unless they
the,
need them.
yeah,
I wouldn't do it myself though, of
no,
course. Maybe get a VA or someone on my team to do it, or just go to someone like us who sells them on the cheap and get a VA to do the few that you need the extra like back and forth from. Um,
right.
but yeah, definitely not something you need to put too much time or thought into. I definitely wouldn't use those overpriced ones. I'm not saying
No.
you have to use us or whatever, but I definitely wouldn't. I've never used one of those services in my life, and I never will. And I used to do some local, a few years ago, but not too much anymore. Um, which type of link gives a boost to ranking for location-based keywords, local SEO, and how can we increase websites traffic fast for local SEO? Okay, so I guess we'll start with the backlink part of the question. So for local websites, but any type of link is going to help you essentially. You just have to think about like what's natural, right? Could a website be linked to from this source? If the answer is yes, then that backlink can most likely help you. But the thing with local sites is it would be good to have some kind of local links as well. And what I mean by that is other websites who also have link profiles that are being linked to people in your like location, right? So essentially you're being linked to by people in your community versus a random like some kind of like national blog or whatever that just targets maybe they talk about your niche, but maybe they're not based in your location. So let's say you're like a plumbing website, right? You're going to want to get some links from people in your like city and your community type thing. And then you can also get links from websites that post content about plumbing. Both of these types of links could be completely natural and both of them will help you. But you would definitely want a bit of both, in my opinion. And then other than that, how can we increase website traffic fast for local SEO? It's the same way you rank anything else, man. The only difference is you're gonna want your, get your GBP, I guess they call it now, not GMB anymore. You want your GBP set up. Of course, you want some citations for all your locations, physical locations that the business has. Your site's gonna be set up a little bit differently. So the way you do your on-page and site structure, of course, is gonna be a little bit different. But other than that, the SEO works very much the same. It's content, matching search intent, doing proper keyword research, writing good content around those subjects, doing good on-page SEO, and then having some backlinks going to your website, right? There's not really a huge difference other than just a couple little things like that I mentioned. Anything to add to that, Nick?
Yeah. Oftentimes we're talking about SEO and then we're talking about traffic, and the two are not mutually exclusive. Especially for a local site, if you get it up and running and you're waiting for SEO to kick in, it's a new site, but you've got everything as far as on page, looking good, where a client might actually land on it and want to use your services. Don't forget to, maybe add ads to the mix, right? Because you can
That's the
target
fastest
people in any
traffic.
specific, yeah. As you're doing your SEO campaign, don't forget that you've got other avenues that you can be utilizing to get traffic to that website and, to turn a profit a little bit quicker.
For sure. You should think about SEO as slow traffic. It is. SEO is the slowest traffic you can possibly get that I know of. Can you think of any slower traffic than SEO?
Not really.
You know,
It-
SEO takes
yeah,
time. It
no.
takes time. It takes Google time. Like it just takes time. Versus something like ads or participating in the right kind of places on social media in a quality way, not just spamming crap out. This kind of stuff can get you traffic much quicker. Ads is instant. You go sign up for ads and you click the on button and your ads are going. You'll start getting traffic like immediately, as long as you've done everything right. So yeah, it can definitely be an option, especially if it's it's a client and maybe they want some fast results. Then doing ads can be a good way to basically get them to calm down and let you do your SEO work without them freaking out about not getting results because they don't believe you that SEO takes time, right? They think, oh, this guy's scamming me and it's never going to work or whatever. But anyway, get them some traffic while they wait for the SEO to start kicking in. Let's see here. And I see you guys' questions. I've just got a couple more here, and then I'll get to the questions on the stream as well.
We got to kind of be on time today.
Well, you can always take off. All right. It says, hey, Chris, I have a new website about 2 months old. So my keywords of homepage ranks well in Bing search engine at the average 12 to 20 positions, but in Google, my homepage is not shown up, even rank already indexed. And it's already indexed on Google. Okay. Secondly, I bought an old website, which my competitors in my content links, speeds, and fresh content too. And the keyword I try to rank is KD of 70 with different metrics. I guess this is two different questions. I'll take this part off. Yeah, so just because you're ranking in Bing doesn't mean you're going to rank on Google. Your site's 2 months old. You said it's indexed. Yeah, it's just, they're two completely different search engines. The way they do things is completely different. So it's completely normal to show up on one and not the other quite yet. If anything, Google, I would say, might even take longer because they have more skin in the game. More people use their service. And if the Google rankings were just changing around every day a whole bunch, then no one would like to, businesses wouldn't care about them because it just wouldn't be a steady source of traffic, right? So don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing on your website. It's only 2 months old. Keep adding content, making sure you're doing your keyword research right, on-page optimization, all that stuff. Make sure you're building some backlinks and stuff, and just keep going. Your website is indexed, which is good. So Google knows your website is there. Now you just need to make sure you're doing all of the other stuff and get them to actually say, hey, I trust these guys, and other people trust them too, and their content is good. So we'll actually start letting it rank for stuff rather than just being indexed. Anything to add on that one, Nick?
No.
Cool. And then the second part. Secondly, I bought an old website, which are my competitors in content length, page speeds, and fresh content too. And the keyword I try to rank for has a keyword difficulty of 70 with different metrics. Why doesn't Google rank my website? I'm not sure if do you understand the question?
So he's copying everything that his competitors are doing as far as...
I think he bought the website. He says he bought it. I think that means bought. I bit old website. I don't know. I built, maybe built.
Yeah, it could
built
be.
An old website. I think this guy bought an old website.
Well, regardless, so what he's saying is he's basically either has a domain that his competitors used to have, or he's building the exact same thing. As far as content length, page speed, everything is optimized so that it's matching his competitors. I'm trying to rank. It's got a KD of 70, so incredibly high competition value at 70.
Okay, so you say okay, so you match their content length, you match their paid speed, and your content is as fresh as theirs. But what about all the other stuff? What about the backlinks? Yeah. What about the authority that this website has? It's such such a massive factor. Such a KD 70. What that means is that page, not the domain, but that page has a ton of backlinks going to it. KD 70 is a very high competition thing to rank for. And if a single page on a website has a bunch of backlinks going to it, in a lot of cases, that you can expect the domain to have a very high amount of backlinks going to it too, right? So, you might be competing with sites that are just these massive authority sites with these tons of backlinks. So it doesn't matter how good your content is, Google's not going to rank you above them. It's just, people like to say content is king, but it's just not true to an extent. Like content, you have to do your content good. It has to be good. But if you have the exact same content on your website that doesn't have a ton of authority versus huge authority site with a ton of backlinks going to the article, and they are actually seen as an authority in the community by a bunch of people, it's not a competition for Google to say who's going to rank higher. It's going to be an automatic pick for the person with a lot of authority. So I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question correctly. Yeah, anything to add on that, Nick?
No, you got to actually just keep doing SEO, especially if you want to go after those large competition terms. You're not just going to be like, well, I emulated everything and Google's just not putting me up there. Google doesn't care. There's a lot of criteria into getting up in those SERPs.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time to rank for that keyword. So, if we're understanding the question correctly, my best advice would probably be to, in the meantime, try to rank for a lot easier stuff.
Yes.
Stuff that's not KD 70, right? I'm saying like less than KD 20, less than KD 10 even is where you really want to start at. Get it showing all that green in Ahrefs, that fresh green grass, right? That's just that real easy stuff to rank for. You start getting some traffic there, and then you can eventually, over time, build up the authority and the backlinks to be able to compete with a site like that. What if keywords position showing on Search Console between 4th and 5th page and third-party tools and on Google Keywords are not ranking? I'm going to read that one more time. What if keywords position showing on Google Search Console between 4th and 5th page, okay, and third-party tools on Google Keywords are not ranked? Do you understand that, Nick?
So I'm guessing you mean, so in Search Console, you're getting data that says your website is showing up in the 4th to 5th page. And then you're looking in third-party tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, and those keywords are not showing anywhere. It's because Google has more data than Ahrefs, SEMrush, etc., right? Like they've got more crawlability, etc. So, I don't know why you would let this worry you. Ultimately, the best information would be information that comes directly from the source, meaning Google, right? So if it's saying that you're popping up on page 4 or 5, and your website's not that old, it's coming up in the SERPs, then I would say that's a good sign. And just give it time, and Ahrefs, SEMrush, and all the third-party aggregators are going to catch up eventually.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly.
Yeah. If that's what you're saying, then absolutely. But then at the very end, he also says, and on Google keywords are not ranked. So if it's showing in Google Search Console that it's on page 4 or 5.
Or maybe it's being tested too if it's a newer site.
But then it's not showing on Google. If it's not showing on Google, but Google Search Console doesn't show you what page it's on, does it?
Yeah, somewhere in there, I think it'll show you. I didn't think it showed you exactly the exact page, but I haven't been in there messing around.
I think it just shows like clicks and impressions and stuff. I'm not like a huge Search Console. I just look at like clicks and impressions. I look at real like basic stuff and any like issues. I don't think so. Anyway, sorry if we didn't understand it right. Maybe you can ask the question again in the group if you're there, because I think that question came from the group. All right, I think we got a couple questions left in the group and we'll get out of here, guys. When a competitor spams your site with bad backlinks, do you recommend sending Google a disavow list first? They don't appear in Search Console, but do in Ahrefs. Yeah, we answered this question earlier on the stream. I would actually we got to get out of here soon, so I'm going to tell you to go ahead and just rewind the stream and watch the beginning of it. But yeah, in general, we don't tell people to disavow unless you're having massive ranking losses and you're 100% sure it's because of the backlinks. Usually we ignore them and we build good backlinks and just keep moving forward, and Google just ignores them. But yeah, some people like to disavow proactively, but go watch our other video at the beginning of the stream for more info. And then last question. What is the best way to determine the monthly managed link building budget? So this another managed link building question. So yeah, managed link building, if you're not aware, is our done-for-you link building service where we basically audit the website. You let us know your SEO goals, what you want to rank, your important keywords, stuff like that. Then you set a monthly link building budget, and then we deliver backlinks every month, and we make all the decisions about target URLs, anchor text, types of links to use, power levels, all that stuff. So we basically use all the money you're giving us for backlinks and just try to use it in the best way we think possible to reach your goals. But yeah, so as far as determining a managed link building budget, the very first thing that I would do is I would say that you need to choose a budget that you are comfortable sustaining for a minimum of 6 months to 1 year. If you're here earlier in the stream, you would have heard us talk about how we can't tell you you're going to get results immediately, but that link building is essentially an ongoing process. It doesn't mean your budget can't change. You could do a higher budget and you could go down to a lower budget later. You could do, on and off. But anyway, it's good. You need to pick something that you're comfortable sustaining versus trying to like build everything like very quickly, like in a couple months. Like what I would really not recommend is doing like, $3,000 a month for link building for like 3 months in the beginning and then just stopping completely and not building backlinks. What I would think would be much better would be to do, like $1,000 a month, and then you can really spread that out, and then it doesn't affect your budget as much. It lets you kind of relax a little bit and lets us continue link building over time versus just front loading it and then everything's stopping, which Google would almost see as like, well, your website's not popular anymore because no one's linking to it, and maybe they got a bunch of hype and now no one cares about you. So yeah, take that into consideration. And then the second thing you need to do is look at your competitors. See how many referring domains they have, and then you can filter it down to see how many good backlinks they have. So, let's say your competitor has 2,000 referring domains. You can throw in some filters on Ahrefs to like see how many of those links have more than like 250 traffic above DR 10, something like that, no subdomains. And that'll give you a little bit of a better idea of how many kind of more quality links that they have. Even then, there's a lot, it's not perfect, and you could filter a lot of that out because there's still going to be a lot of trash in there. But what that generally does is it'll cut it down from like 2,000 to something more like 100. It's usually significantly less than that initial number. And it's not saying that all those other links don't help them, but then what you're really looking at is kind of like the real good stuff, the quality stuff. And a lot of that other stuff, a lot of that other 2,000 ends up being kind of this natural kind of spam stuff that sites get over time anyways. But anyway, so then, that number, let's say it went down from 2,000 to 100 referring domains. Then you could say, okay, well, I need to build 100 quality referring domains. But then you don't really know what the average like DR of any of those are. But basically what you could do is then you could say, okay, well, so the average guest post or niche edit from Sir Links-a-Lot costs this much. So, how long do I want to take to basically catch up to that level of referring domains? So you do a little math and say, okay, maybe if I spend this budget, it would take me, 6 months or 12 months to reach that level of referring domains, and then I'd be in a very strong range to compete with my competitors. But again, it's not perfect. Just because you hit that number doesn't mean that you'll catch them. There's a lot of other stuff at play here, but that's like the best way that I would go about trying to estimate how much money to spend on backlinks. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah. So, like if you're newer and auditing a bunch of websites isn't quite in your grasp yet, maybe you kind of know about SEO, but you don't have an Ahrefs subscription, so you can't really go check out your competitors, etc. Good rule of thumb is know your market, right? So like if you're a local company ranking in a geographic region, or you're trying to rank in a geographic region where there's like under 20,000 population or something like that, then the lowest budget is probably enough to at least get you going, so long as you're doing everything correctly from a content standpoint. then you're at least going to be building quality backlinks from the get-go. If you're looking and you've got like an affiliate site and you're trying to rank against, let's say for some of these terms that you're looking at, it's some of these bigger companies, but you're doing good keyword research, you're figuring out terms that are a little bit easier to access based in your niche. Then, if it's a national campaign, you might want to step it up just a little bit, but at least still, you'd know that you got started on the right foot, that your backlink profile is being handled correctly, etc. So, smaller local, you could even do the minimum 500 to like $1,000. And for larger assets, you might want to go higher if you can afford to do so. And if not, then still at least, the minimum budget is going to get you a backlink profile and get you started on something versus saying that, I'm not going to get started right now because I don't have the money for it. Well, just do what you can while you can. And then at least you've got, all of the variables kind of rolling versus, ignoring one.
I'll just add one more thing. You could message your MLB rep. And doing this is not something we normally do, but I think if you explain it, we'll okay. It's not a big deal. You can just message your MLB rep and say, hey, I'm trying to figure out how much I should budget. Can you just tell me, how many quality links like these 2 websites have? And your MLB rep, I'll tell them that they can go ahead and do it. It just takes them 2 seconds to pop it in and give you two numbers. And then you can go and say, okay, I got about this many links that I need to catch up to. And then you have a better idea of what kind of budget you want to spend per month to try to catch up to them, essentially. Yeah. Anything else to add on that, Nick?
Nope.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Zachary says, awesome. We'll give details to my MLB rep. Pretty sure they're solid domains. I recently rebuilt the old pages with lots of links and a bunch of pages indexed within 1 to 2 weeks. Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a good sign, right? And yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Just let your rep know. Anything, we can't tell you not to do anything. It can make our life a little more difficult. So, but adding a 301 is a super powerful thing. So we definitely don't want to tell you not to do it. So yeah, just let your rep know. It won't be an issue. It says, worst comes to worst, I don't 301, they'll just end up being PBNs. Cool. Yeah, that's always an option as well. All right, this is gonna be the last question, guys, and then we're gonna take off. So no more questions after this one. I'm sorry, but we gotta go. Can your 100 social profile package also cause a negative impact, especially if I also made some of those profiles myself, so maybe duplicates? You can include any social profiles that you've already built. You can just give us a list when you're building, and we'll just not build those. But these aren't like citations. It's not like you don't have to, citations. You gotta worry about duplicates and whatnot. But even then, I feel like Google's probably come a long way from like 10 years ago, and they could probably just ignore stuff. But yeah, with social profiles, I would worry about it 0%, essentially. I wouldn't worry about any duplicates. But if you are worried about it, you could go ahead and just let us know, and we won't build any on those pages. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't worry about any kind of negative ranking impact at all, building any kind of social profiles. You'd have to be doing something pretty special to get like in trouble for building social profile links. Like
somehow using like exact match anchors that aren't branded at all or something. I don't know.
And like spamming them all heavily with like super spam to do like tiered link building. Yeah, all super spun like gibberish content in them. Like you'd have to be doing something pretty special to have negative effects with that.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, yeah, hopefully that helps. And yeah, what do we got coming up? We got a podcast that we're going to record on Friday with Julian Goldie. You're going to be talking about his AI content experiments. He's been doing a bunch of case studies with these websites where he's just doing tons of AI content, which I've been having a fun time watching on YouTube. So we'll be talking to him. We got more podcasts coming out with Charles Float. We'll be talking about parasite SEO, which is an insane way to make money on the internet right now for affiliate stuff, especially. What else we got? We got Corey Goober in the works for a podcast. No date set quite yet, but we'll eventually be having him on. We have a sale happening right now, managed link building, for any new websites or campaigns that have been paused for a while. You get 10% off if you start this month. So you got about 2 weeks left. The code for that is MAN10, but if you can't remember, you can just email us. We'll give you the code. We'll tell you about it. What else we got?
New products coming out.
Bunch of new products. I don't even want to get into that, but the first one is probably going to be domains.
Yeah.
Domains will be first, and everything else is going to come after that. We got domains, huge domains update, huge PBN links update. We got
Niche edit product.
big niche edit, cool niche edit product coming out. We got press releases coming. We've got a bunch of stuff, but it's all kind of being held up by this one little thing right now. But anyway, that'll be coming hopefully very soon. What else? Anything else?
No, not really. I think that's it. It's been action packed for a while. But yeah, that little hang up that we're waiting on. Stop.
So yeah, check all that stuff out. Like always, like, comment, and subscribe. Join us on Facebook, SEO Roundtable. We're in there every day posting tips and answering questions. You can also subscribe to us, our email list, where you can hear about all the sales and new podcasts and everything just directly to your email. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully normal time, same place, 10 a.m. Wednesday, CST. But if not, we'll let you guys know if we're changing the times or whatever. So yeah, hopefully this helped, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.